something that I came across that said he had every room in his house recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a lot of documentation on a lot of very influential people doing things or put in very compromising positions. I mean, do you know that to be?
It's in my book. I said that.
He was doing this 15 years
I was
ago.
telling you, yeah, I said it in the book how he when he tapped he had it on Kim Porter on his, and then he had her on the phone. Got to read the book. In the book, and it said that Shakir had called Kim
Kim.
and said how, I think it was how's, don't quote me on it, but it was the words in the book. I think it was how are my kids? And he was like, how are my kids? He's calling Puffy kids his kids because I think that Kim and Shakir may have had something may have been going on, but Shakir was like that. So
Yeah.
I knew Shakir.
Yeah.
He's
I knew
fly guy.
Shakir,
He
yes,
going,
yeah.
So it was a problem, and then they had a fight at L.A. Reid party. Him Puff had threw a chair at him, and then
Puff and Shakir, right?
Yeah, Puff Shakir. He threw a chair at him it was L.A. Reid's wedding. I believe he was getting married, and then that was their beef. That was their beef. But you asked the question. What was that question one more time? I want to make sure I answered it.
Just as it relates to him taping everything.
Oh, taping, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he has a lot of documentation on a lot of very powerful people, which is seemingly why I keep hearing this Epstein comparison.
Who do you think he learned it from? He learned it from Clive and all of those people, the LAs. When you go to their house, they recording everything in their house too. So how many have they recorded him?
What do you think as it relates to Shakir? Because that was something that oftentimes I heard speculation on.
I mean, with being wise man you are, with taking two and two and putting it together, I'm sure if you look at the situation correctly, you can see you can tell what happened.
Yeah.
He killed himself, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like it was deeper than rap.
Something was disturbing.
Yeah.
Something was very disturbing to him, and at that time, and whatever it wasn't something that he could stomach.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it bothered him enough to where he took his life.
Yeah. When all this really began to happen, it seemed as if his kids were a lot more involved than probably what the average person would think, right? Because they were named in the lawsuits and the allegations. When I saw the producer, and I thought it was really odd when you're a grown man with kids having to acknowledge another man grabbing your anus. I mean, he literally says this, fondling him. And I'm like, was that ever something you recall seeing from Puff?
No, never saw nothing like it. Never saw nothing like it. And then some of the things I think about, say, man, and this being clearly fair and honest with it, he says that he touched him, groped him, and touched him around his anus, but that didn't mean it. It would be different if he said he pulled my pants down and tied me up, and then started something in the back of me. You'd be like, now that's a different story. But to say he touched you, we don't know if that touch could have been accidental. We don't know if maybe you thought he touched you. Maybe when he put his hand on your leg, it's like sometimes you talk to people, they be like, oh, say, they put their hand on you, might do like this, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, and move it off. But just because, somebody may do that. If you have, let's say, if you are offended by it, or if it offends you, even if you pay attention, you'd be like, wow, this dude is touching my leg, got his hand on my leg. And you'd be like, do I respond to it like I'm homophobic? Or do I just sometimes look and say, he's talking? So sometimes if I'm homophobic, I'm going to say, he's trying to touch me. Don't touch me, right? So,
and I definitely, I hear what you're saying, where you're going with it, Mark. But I think when I heard him say he woke up and he didn't know what had happened,
now that's
and
different.
He woke up in the bed and
in the bed with him,
and two sex workers, and he can't recall.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, a lot of times we talk about, you know, trains getting ran on women.
Yeah. But let me ask you this. Not this being the devil's advocate. He woke up. What did he wake up naked? Did he say his butt was sore?
I don't know.
See, that's the thing we want to know.
If this goes to trial, I don't know. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how this plays out. Obviously, it's civil.
And
but
they do have cameras, so they should see it.
Yeah. You know, one of the other things I thought that was interesting about the whole case was where it went with Cassie, and then talking about the physically abusive side. And I was like, wow. And this is just speculation. I mean, I know that sometimes, you know, one, homosexuality in our community isn't something that's talked about. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine, you know, if someone is struggling to come to grips with who they are, and they feel the need, because I know Cassie is but so big, and the level of physicality that was described in the lawsuit, I was like, wow, that's pretty disturbing. You know, do you think that he had evolved into this other person in that way? Because you talked about a little bit about what happened with Kim, and I think it was common knowledge that there was a lot of maybe abuse there. Right. You know, I mean, can you shed any light on, you know, where he was at as a person?
Like, yeah, but just like when you thinking, if you put yourself in the shoe of someone like him, and you try to think of the things that are interesting to you, even when it comes to dating females, you be like, I've dated so many females that just having normal sex with this female is just not it for me no more. Now I want to have sex with her, and I want her to put on a red thing or whatever it may be, and then your mind just starts going and going and going. I do believe that you can overdo yourself by not keeping yourself grounded, and if those type of things were going on, it's almost like a gateway to other things. So you say, if those things were going on, it was a learned or a studied type of behavior that he picked up, and it's something that's helping him feel that adrenaline rush and feel happy and comfortable with it. So you do have some guys that might say, not me, I enjoy watching other men have sex with my girlfriend, or you know, just seeing her face, just how she's enjoying it, and then you be like, what kind of weird sick stuff am I on liking this? But some people do that.
Yeah.
But you have to keep yourself grounded.
It's interesting. Did you ever think that there was anything really there with his relationship with Young Miami?
No, I didn't. I just didn't even understand the Young and the Miami, the both of that, and the City Girls. And I'm like, you know, what I did here is this, that when he was Prince, and they said he's parading around town with the City Girl, and he wanted to be the brand. He's the brand of a big liquor, but he's running around, and he's kind of. It was a point to where that company thought that he was embarrassing.
Diageo.
They thought that he was embarrassing. It's like,
so when he got, yeah, I kind of thought that when that Diageo lawsuit came about, I felt like that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, because